All right, we are at the top of the hour. We're going to go ahead and get started here today. If you are an existing client out there, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be with me here today. If you are new here, my name is Eric Hagan. I'm a financial advisor. I am president of Capital Consulting Group. We are an independent wealth management firm here in the Twin Cities area. And to everyone, welcome to this month's Capital Classroom presentation titled The New Retirement Rules, Understanding Secure Act 2.0. Today, we're going to look at key insights for your retirement planning. So grab your notepad, and we are going to go ahead and get started and dive right in. And then also, if you are watching in the recording, also want to welcome you here today as well. So thank you for being here. All right. So the secure word in the Secure Act stands for setting every community up for retirement enhancement. The Secure Act 2.0 has passed, making it the most significant piece of retirement legislation since the original Secure Act was approved in 2019. With a total of roughly 100 provisions, mostly around retirement plans, we need to first get our arms around the key changes and assess the implications. The good news is that there are numerous benefits to investors relating to more time to save, more ways to save, and more ways to use those funds. The challenge is simply absorbing the breadth, depth, and timing of the changes. Most of these provisions are effective in 2023 and 2024. However, others are pushed out all the way to 2028. Today, we're going to place our findings under one big umbrella and highlight key changes that you should know about. What we'll dig into today are the highlights of what is called the Secure Act Parts 1 and Part 2. The first part was passed into law in December of 2019, and version 2.0 passed in December of 2022. The impact is far-reaching, from the silent generation and boomers who are thinking about estate plans to boomers and Gen Xers focused on retirement, to millennials and Gen Zers who will be the recipients of a great wealth transfer in the coming decades. And as we all know well, taxes are complicated and impact your savings, investments, and retirement plans. Generally, the new rules are very savings friendly. However, they require that everyone reevaluate their financial plans in order to capture the opportunities that they present. In addition, the government sees businesses as the conduit to help expand and promote retirement savings by their employees. And I want to make sure you understand how the changes will impact you, your family, and if relevant, your business. So let's get started. Now, everyone's tax situation is different. You should always consult a qualified tax professional, professional tax advisor to discuss your specific tax situation. I'm a financial advisor. I do not provide tax advice. What I do is help people understand how the tax code and other rules could impact their financial planning and investments, and then develop a plan for retirement that takes taxes into account. Now, you may be thinking, what parts of the Secure Act will specifically impact me and my plans for retirement? And that brings us to our first key. The Secure Act is giving you more time to save for retirement and provides great opportunities to save and reduce taxes. So what does more time to save actually mean? Well, there are a number of positive changes to age limits, some allowing you to contribute longer to your plan, and others allowing you to hold off on taking mandatory withdrawals from your retirement accounts. So let's take a closer look at that. In the past, savers were forced to withdraw money from their IRAs starting at age 70 and a half, whether they wanted to or not. Those withdrawals are called required minimum distributions, or RMDs. The Secure Act has now increased the age you start taking those forced distributions all the way to age 75, depending on your current age. As you can see on the table here, anyone currently subject to and taking RMDs must continue their existing schedule. So if you were born before 1951 and turned 72 in 2022, you should still take your first RMD by April 1st of this year, 2023. If you were born between 1951 and 1959 and turning 72 this year, your required withdrawals start next year when you turn 73. Now, it's worth noting that you see a star on the table next to the year 1959. And that's because we've confirmed that there is a mistake in the law that would have those folks starting their RMDs at both age 73 and age 75. This will ultimately be rectified in a technical correction, but for now, we're going to keep it at age 73. Those born in 1960 and later will not start taking RMDs until age 75. This gives your money more time to potentially grow tax-free. Remember, however, building up large IRAs means larger RMDs in the future, which can have tax consequences when it's time to start drawing down your retirement assets. This is one of the topics that we'll discuss if you were to come in for a follow-up meeting one-on-one with myself, or if you were invited by another advisor on our team with your other advisor. Now, in the past, failure to take a prescribed RMD resulted in a 50% penalty. That has been reduced to 25% with a 3-year look back, and further reduced to only 10% if you correct the error in a timely fashion. And then lastly, the new law eliminates RMDs for Roth 401k, Roth 403b, and Roth 457 accounts, matching the rule for Roth IRAs. So the question becomes more about the benefits of rolling the plan over to an IRA, things like investment options, fees, service, etc. So all of this is good news. The primary benefit of the new rule would apply to older surviving spouses who can now assume a deferred RMD start time. If they don't need the money, they can delay withdrawals, allowing the potential for the account to grow. Another benefit is that the RMDs would also be smaller than if the surviving spouse treated the retirement account as their own. Remember, RMD percentages increase with age. If the surviving spouse passes away before RMDs begin, the new 10-year RMD disbursement rules do not apply, meaning the eligible designated beneficiary can stretch the payouts over their entire life expectancy. Previously, you could only contribute to your IRA until age 70 and a half, and then you would be forced to start withdrawing RMDs from that account. The new legislation gives those wishing to work longer more opportunities to save and the potential to create a larger nest egg for when they finally do retire. So first, in 2024, catch-ups will be adjusted for inflation. And then second, starting in 2025, a special enhanced contribution has been created for a very narrow bracket, those age 60 to 63. And that is $10,000 or 150% of the regular catch-up amount for both 401k and 403b. And then it's $5,000 or 150% of the regular catch-up amount for simple plans. This table frames the catch-up contribution changes by age. So 49 or younger, catch-up is not available. Standard catch-up for those 50 to 59 and 64 and older, which is $7,500. And then special treatment for those 60 to 63 in 2024, and more than $10,000 or 150% of the standard in 2024. The bottom line is that the rule changes allow for participants in IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, and simple plans to contribute more to their plans each year. So if you can keep setting money aside each year, that is great news. You'll defer your taxes and grow more savings for your retirement. Now, if you're thinking these new rules make me think I should consider putting more money aside for retirement, it's a good thought because that's what the Secure Act rules help people do, including Roth plans at work, auto enrollment in plans, and help for part-time workers and help for young families and professionals. So that brings us to key number 2. Aside from more time to save, the Secure Act now provides more options to invest for your retirement. You'll see many coming slides address changes to workplace retirement plans. So let's explore this important component and how they relate to your retirement funding efforts. There are a significant number of changes related to Roths, both for personal retirement IRAs and in employer-sponsored retirement plans. Clearly, starting this year, 2023, the addition of employer contributions to the Roth side of the plan equation is a great opportunity to build assets that will escape taxation when withdrawals begin. Now, it's important to note it is not mandatory or automatic for employers. Offering you matching after-tax contributions to company Roth plans are entirely at their discretion. For those employees making more than $145,000 per year, your only option is to have catch-up contributions to a Roth account. The only exception is if the plan does not offer a Roth option. No RMD will be required. And it's worth mentioning again, RMDs will be eliminated for Roth 401k, 403b, and 457 accounts starting next year in 2024. There's no need to roll Roth 401k to a Roth IRA, Roth 401k funds to a Roth IRA, simply to avoid RMDs, although other good reasons might still exist. Now, starting in 2025, to encourage and increase retirement savings, employers are required to auto-enroll employees in their 401k or 403b plan, and then as an employee, you'd have the chance to opt out if you'd like. In year 1, the employer will determine how much of your salary they can allow you to put aside for savings. It will be between 3 and 10%. In years 2 plus, that number will increase to between 3 and 15%. In addition, that number will auto-escalate by 1% per year. Those new to the workforce or changing jobs in 2025 stand to benefit the most. Studies have shown that auto-enrollment is increasing 401k balances, so Congress wants to continue the good work. But we all know the earlier we start, the greater the potential to create more money for retirement. This might be a good time to look at your own 401k savings and consider if you are saving enough. Is that the right place to put your retirement savings? How much will your employer be matching? Some business types are exempted from auto enrollment requirements, and this is something we can discuss one-on-one to see if that affects you. Companies now have more freedom also to offer annuities inside 401k plans. So why is this important to you? Well, one of the hardest parts of retirement income is making your total savings last the rest of your life. Annuities are insurance products designed to turn a portion of your savings into a stream of income that lasts a lifetime. They are a very interesting solution to help address the question, will I live to an advanced age and run out of money? The new legislation is casting a wide net and providing small businesses another way to attract, retain, and help their employees save for retirement. The starter 401k is a good place to start, though it may not be as attractive as traditional plans because employers are not required to match contributions and contributions are lower. It is, however, a path in the right direction to help boost overall retirement savings. For 2023, the Secure Act adds 2 new options for Roth contributions to both simple and SEP plans. Although it won't be a requirement for you as an employee, to put this in place. It's there if you want to take advantage of it. Effective in 2023, you can offer your household employees, like a nanny or a cleaning person, a SEP IRA plan. It's a nice benefit depending on your financial circumstances. Simple and SEP plans for Roth provide a simplified way for a small business with 50 or fewer employees to contribute towards employee savings and yours if you're the business owner. Previously, simple and SEP plans only allowed for pre-tax funds, which are taxed when you make a withdrawal. And then additional employer contributions will be allowed for simple IRA plans in 2024. These will be capped at $5,000 per employee, in addition to the required matching or 2% of pay elective non-contributions. Once again, there may still be good reasons to roll a simple or SEP plan assets to a Roth IRA. The availability of investment options, fees, and service should all be considerations. This law, again, was just passed in late 2022, so it will take some time for participating employers to set up their systems and procedures in alignment with IRS rules. These rules are especially beneficial for new families and young professionals. Highly compensated individuals are ineligible. Money must be held in cash or equivalent, and participants must have monthly access to the funds. Since many Americans don't have rainy day funds, the emergency savings account can provide a way to regularly set aside some money every year for unexpected expenses. And you get to do so by using your retirement plan. While it's only offering you access to $1,000 per year, the definition of what qualifies as an emergency withdrawal is broad and seems to account for many different circumstances. There's a new student loan repayment match where employers can help employees who are paying off student loans. An employer making a matching contribution on behalf of the employee in a 401k, 403b, 457, or simple IRA with respect to qualified student loan repayments. This will be available to employers next year in 2024. In addition, younger earners can start contributing to an IRA with an expanded definition of what exactly is earned income. A great example is that stipends and non-tuition fellowship payments to graduate and postdoctoral students will count as earned income. This means that postdoc and grad students can then contribute to IRAs. This is good news for students who want to begin accumulating tax-favored retirement savings. In many cases, graduate study keeps them too busy for a job that might offer a 401k or other employer savings plan. Now, the new disclosures will show how your total savings will translate into monthly income too. This can really help with our discussions about your retirement, especially future cash flow and the income that you will need. Now, you may be saying, I see how I'll have more time to save now. Can the new rules help me in other ways? And the short answer is yes. The new legislation has made sweeping changes to how you can use your money, from 529 conversions to funding long-term care. So let's explore a few of the most prominent changes that you need to know about or that have broad application for investors. This brings us to key number 3. We all want to feel smart and responsible about how we handle our money. Now, I'm going to share some parts of the Secure Act that will give you some new ways to use your savings. You'll have a new option for making your charitable donations more tax efficient. You're also going to be able to maximize college savings accounts or 529 plans in new and interesting ways. And then finally, there are some new reasons you can take money from your retirement account if you need to without paying an early withdrawal penalty. So you may be familiar with qualified charitable distributions or QCDs. We've been doing QCDs for our clients for many, many years. If you're not familiar with them, QCDs were introduced in 2006 to help people age 70 and a half satisfy their required minimum distributions or RMDs by making a charitable gift with the money in their IRA account. If certain rules are met, they can directly transfer up to $100,000 per year from the IRA to a qualified charity of their choice. And again, that donation would satisfy their RMD requirements for that year. Effective in 2024, the new law maintains the maximum transfer at $100,000, but will be adjusted for inflation each year. Now, it's important to note that it must be a qualified charitable donation. So it's best to check with your tax advisor because there are some organizations like private foundations that are ineligible for donation under this law. Beginning this year, 2023, the new QCD law also allows for a one-time only ability to fund what's called a split interest entity up to $50,000. And get a little technical, so if anyone would like to discuss this one-on-one, be happy to have a follow-up conversation. This rule change allows you to use money originally set aside for your kids' or grandkids' education. So there's no need to dip into savings earmarked for retirement. Investors who have a 529 education savings plan can now withdraw up to $10,000 to repay student loans. We all know that the student loan debt crisis is a crisis in America, and this new provision is one way that savers may find relief, allowing them to put less money towards student debt and more towards retirement savings. A related change is that 529 plan monies can also be used for apprenticeship programs, provided they are registered with the Department of Labor. Some kids don't go to college, but still need money to prepare themselves for the workplace. Now they can use the 529 plans their families may have already funded. And in case you didn't know or had forgotten, a $10,000 per year withdrawal to cover private K through 12 education broadened the use of 529 plans back in 2017. Do you have or anticipate having money left over in a child's 529 plan? This new rule could make it easier to save for your children's college and jumpstart their retirement savings too. Here are the details. Excess funds in a 529 plan can be rolled over directly into a Roth IRA for your child, the beneficiary. Beneficiary must have earned income. As with other rollovers, you are not taxed on the transfer of the funds, and the money continues to enjoy tax deferral until withdrawn. Beginning in 2024, you can roll over up to $35,000, and this is a total lifetime cap, from the 529 plan to your child's Roth IRA. The annual transfers are also subject to annual Roth IRA contribution limits, which are currently $7,500. Another benefit to this rule is that there are no income limits for participants, meaning while high wage earners, which technically is $144,000 of income for single people and $223,000 for joint, high wage earners usually make too much money to contribute to a Roth, but they will now be eligible to do so for their kids or grandkids with leftover 529 money. There are some strings attached, of course. First, the 529 plan must be in place for 15 years before it is eligible for a rollover to a Roth IRA. 15 years. Money added during the past 5 years cannot be used. And if you max out the 529 transfer for the year, $6,500, the beneficiary, child or grandchild, cannot add funds from other sources. You're capped at the annual limit for Roth IRAs. The bottom line is that we now have some flexibility when we have access, when we can access excess funds in 529 plans. So you can keep all the funds in the 529 without penalty, and your child can use the money for their children, and or you can transfer funds to jumpstart that child's retirement. The best solution, of course, depends on your unique situation. I'd be happy to sit down and discuss those unique situations with you one-on-one. Several new items have been added to the list of penalty-free withdrawals that you're allowed to make from your qualified retirement account before age 59 and a half. Paying for long-term care insurance is now one of them. This is a tremendous benefit for a few reasons. As we age, more and more of us will encounter a major health event that requires long-term care, such as in-home medical assistance or a nursing home facility. The high cost of care for an unplanned critical illness or health crisis can be catastrophic for families, and unfortunately, Medicare does not cover very much. The average cost of a private room in a nursing facility can be $100,000 or more, depending on where you live. And many people forego long-term care insurance because they think it's too expensive. But as you can see, so is the cost of care if you're caught by surprise. This new rule makes it more affordable and tax-friendly. Clarity is needed from the IRS about the type of long-term care insurance that qualifies under this rule. The law is vague, referring to it only as high-quality long-term care insurance. So if you have financial concerns about family health history or health issues, let's set some time one-on-one to talk, and we'll have that discussion. Then we can explore your unique circumstances to see if long-term care insurance makes sense for you. New parents may withdraw up to $5,000 from a retirement account for qualified birth or adoption expenses without a 10% early withdrawal penalty. Withdrawals must occur within 1 year of the birth or adoption, and you may still owe taxes on the money withdrawn. And then there are several new provisions have been made allowing for special circumstances. Now, early withdrawals will qualify as penalty-free for someone who is terminally ill, for victims of domestic abuse, and for public safety workers, which now include firefighters and others. There's also been a provision made for expenses coming from a federally declared natural disaster. This rule is retroactive to disasters occurring in 2021 and later, and allows for a maximum distribution of $22,000, which may be both taken and repaid over 3 years. Retirement plan loans for people living in disaster areas are increasing from $50,000 to $100,000. All right, so undoubtedly, there are some of you out there who have already accomplished saving enough for retirement. So kudos to you. You might be starting to think about the next generation and estate planning and wondering, what do we need to know about leaving our IRAs to our kids? Is that still allowed in the new rules? Unfortunately, the news here isn't so good. Our fourth key point is this. Your kids can still inherit your IRA, but they can only defer taxes for up to 10 years. This was a big rule change in 2019, and I think it's worth addressing again here today. Not only are your retirement savings affected by these new rules, but the death of the Stretch IRA requires a review of your estate plan thinking. So let's look at this a little bit more closely. With certain exceptions, which we'll see in a moment, beneficiaries of IRAs, including Roth IRAs, must liquidate those accounts within 10 years. Previously, IRA owners were encouraged to have younger beneficiaries because they could stretch out the distributions over the beneficiaries' lifetimes, allowing for longer tax-free growth. Some heirs even plan to use the accounts for their own retirement, but now they must take out the money within 10 years of the death of the original owner. This could have major repercussions for the beneficiary. When they withdraw that money, they will have to report it as income and pay taxes. This could also affect the FAFSA, the student loan application form, if they have children applying for college financial aid, and possibly limit their ability to claim certain tax credits. There is no rule about how to draw down the account, provided it is gone within 10 years. There's been some confusion around this. But the beneficiary, so what that means ultimately is that the beneficiary could take out some of the money each year over those 10 years, or none at all during the first 9 years, and then everything in the 10th year. Planning is needed, and this should include consulting your tax professional, your accountant, your CPA. If you have a large IRA balance and know that it will be part of your estate, please catch up with me sometime after this presentation so that we can talk about strategies if you want to talk about your personal and unique situation. Now, as I said before, there are some exceptions to the 10-year rule, or what the IRS calls eligible designated beneficiaries. They include surviving spouses, disabled or chronically ill beneficiaries, those who are not more than 10 years younger than the original owner, and minor children. In that last case, the 10-year clock starts when those minor children reach legal adulthood and does not include grandchildren or other relatives of the original IRA owner. For all of these eligible designated beneficiaries, the Stretch IRA is mostly business as usual. The new rule also does not apply to people who have already inherited an IRA, only those inherited in 2020 or later. The real lesson from all these changes, particularly the death of the Stretch IRA, is that tax planning is more important than ever. Congress is looking for ways to increase revenue, and one way to do that is to eliminate tax breaks. We may see other changes before the time comes for you to retire or pass on your estate. For many years, even decades, people were told to rely on their IRAs, and many Americans listened to the point where, helped by a 10-plus year bull market, they have a lot of money invested in these tax deferred accounts. The problem is, one day the tax bill will come due, and you cannot predict what the tax law will be when it does. As I've said, I am not a tax professional. I do not give tax advice. All tax decisions should be reviewed by your tax professional, your accountant, your CPA, etc. But I can look at your investments and savings and help you plan ahead. Taxes in retirement are a much bigger issue than many people realize, and I can help develop a retirement income plan so that you draw down your accounts in a tax-smart way. Some of our strategies might include Roth conversions, managing your tax brackets, reviewing your beneficiaries, including your trusts, and creating an estate plan that makes the best sense for everyone in your life. Hopefully, I've conveyed to you the importance of the new retirement rules brought by the Secure Act, and you can see how important it is to focus on what's going to be most impactful for your life. So you're probably wondering what your next steps are. Well, first, let's look at the key points that we covered here today. We started the presentation by saying the Secure Act changes the retirement rules, and that means current and future retirement plans need to be reviewed and adjusted. Our first key point, the new provisions of the Secure Act give you more time to save for retirement, but you need to know how these provisions work so that you can take advantage of them. Our second key point, the Secure Act gives you more ways to save for retirement. Our third point, the Secure Act provides smart and responsible new ways to use your money. And then our fourth and final key point was the death of the Stretch IRA means that your kids can still inherit your IRA, but they can only defer taxes for up to 10 years. If you have questions, here's what happens next. We covered a lot here today. I hope that we can agree these new rules are sweeping and widespread, yet mostly positive. Since everyone's situation is different, it's important, of course, as always, to engage your tax advisor. My firm, Rana, Dan, myself as advisors here at CCG, we have worked with many of our clients, accountants, CPAs, tax professionals over the years, and communication between all of us involved is critical to your investing and retirement success. So if you are an existing client of myself, of Rana, of Dan, of CCG here, we would be more than happy and would love the opportunity to sit down, discuss these changes with your unique situation. If you are new here, I've used a process for many years to help people get from where they are now to where they want to be. We call it our CCC or 3C process. Clarify, consult, capitalize. We want to make sure that we are moving you from a place of where you are to a place that is better. We always want to improve the situations that we're working with. So the first step to doing that, clarify, understand where you are today and where you're headed if you keep doing what you're doing. Then we're going to consult. We're going to talk about it. We're going to look at the things that are helping you accomplish your goals. And we're going to talk about those areas that may be keeping you from accomplishing your goals. And we're going to look at ideas and ways that maybe you're not aware of that could help you accomplish your goals as well. And then if a better situation, if a better path presents itself, then we go to the third phase, which is capitalize. And that's where we actually execute, or we actually put those changes into motion. Again, only those changes that help you better accomplish the goals that you have. So if you are new here and that's something that you would like to take advantage of, please head on over to our website, schedule that first initial get to know you meeting. We would love the opportunity to sit down and talk with you more. Again, if you are an existing client, you have questions about all of this, due to the unique nature and the unique situation that everybody is in, what we encourage is to sit down with your advisor one-on-one, have that discussion, see how these new rules impact your personal and unique situation, and then we can talk about any change that we want to consider from there. So with that, I'm going to wrap up our call. Again, I just want to say thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be here. That is it for today. Kept us on schedule, so that's good. If you are here with me in Minnesota, it is a terribly snowy day. Stay safe on the roads, and we will look for you very soon again. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate your time.